So welcome to the Governance Committee. And for July. Can I first of all introduce Fahim Patak? You've not seen everybody, have you? Do you want to, just want to introduce yourself so you might already know.
Sandra Stanger, yes.
Warren Taylor, Wednesday Down. Martin Robson from Music, and you go.
Jeffrey from Plessy asked Sandra.
And Fahim Hutak, I recently joined as researching committee officer. And nice to meet you all.
Right, okay.
In Bradford Slosser.
Hannah Watson is Bella Ward.
Oh, John Potts is another ward. You know Malcolm.
We know Malcolm.
Yeah, Malcolm.
Catherine Isbert Ward. Margaret Richardson Croft Ward.
Adrian Hardy, Wednesday Dale Ward.
Susan Davy, Kitty Brewster.
Brad Davy, Kitty Brewster.
Again, nice to meet you all and we'll be looking forward to working with you, although I met most of you, but nice to meet a few more councillors.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your email. I've enjoyed every one.
You will get a like up for here. You will. You will.
Right, then, on to the agenda then, item one, apologies for absence.
Got councillors Erskine and Jones.
That's all I think the relative here. Right, okay. Item two, disclosure of interest, grants dispensations, none provided, none. Item three would have been the minutes, but we've already done those. Item four is actions arising on the minutes, so there aren't any. And item five is the budget monitoring report. Can I just mention, there aren't any members of the public in here tonight, but if there were, they would have a slightly different report. On these reports, you can identify individual people and their salaries and things. Whereas on the public report, it'll be accumulated, it'll be a total staff figure. So you wouldn't be able to identify individual people's salary. I was just saying to Malcolm as well, we'll probably need to edit some of these titles here, because what's down as town clerk isn't the town clerk now. Probably just adjust the names there. So on the governance committee, is there anything anybody wants to pick up on these totals, the employee costs, office costs, fees and charges? Yeah, Daniel?
Yes, Chair, on the environmental services, number 711 bus shelters new.
Yeah.
Just to confirm, that's for, there's been no new bus shelter installations.
No, I don't know if we've got any in stock. We used to buy a few, chairs and seats and bus shelters, and just keep them in stock for when we needed them. I'm not sure where we are, bus shelters now, because I know we've had some removed and new ones for you.
I know that we've had one installed, but it was by county installing it outside the Morrisons because of upcoming. There will be some traffic calming put in along Southend Avenue at some point in the future, which has been slightly delayed, but they will lose the bus stop, so they have put a bus stop outside the small Morrisons on Southend Avenue.
Yeah, so Isabel, we've got to replace that one. Did you want to?
Yeah, it's just because I couldn't see it unless I've missed it. There was nothing on bus shelter spec replacements, which I don't know if I need this year, for this financial year.
Yeah,
And I think they were about £100.
£100 for if first picked up.
Yeah, I couldn't see it in the budget, Chair.
No, it comes under another. It's not, that money that you're referring to is a brand new one. But if I have any maintenance costs, it'll come in, 7130.
Maintenance, yeah.
yeah, maintenance.
That's right.
So I have had quite a few, pounds placed this year, due to vandalism, right?
It might be best to discuss it with Dave, but just on that, I was going to say we've still got, in my opinion, a lot of bus stops that, although there's a certain requirement which we discussed a few years ago to say this is the level of a good bus shop, this is the level of a bad bus shop.
Yeah.
We do still, I think, personally need to spend more maintenance on the ones that have got burns, cigarette burns, light burns, cuts and spray paint on, just to improve the general look of the bus shelters. Like I get some feedback in my ward. I don't know about the members in their wards, but I get a lot to say that he wants the stuff which could generally be tight with it. And I hope that we should spend more money to improve the general look of it.
Yeah. I mean, when they're being scratched, you really can't do very much with them if the perspex has been scratched. What have you. So we did have like a standard with.
Did, yeah.
And,
Probably people looking to get, wouldn't get them reviewed again. I mean, the county helped us review them, but, you know, we can have a look over the next few weeks and what have you when we didn't hold the periods, but we'll get that done.
I'd like that, because I know we had the discussion, like I say, if our, it was with Dave and we went, our presentation was good, standard,
Yeah.
and, well, I think I'd like to review that again.
yeah, let's do that. Yeah, to do that.
Yeah, can I just ask about, on fees and charges, it's 303, which is connection expenses. We've allocated 0. And obviously, presumably we spent 0. But it says, but should there not be something sitting in there for by-elections or something on the off chance, or do you just transfer it out of contingency when we?
We used to put £7,000 in every year,
Yeah,
but unless you go to by-election, it never gets spent, so it always goes back into balances.
yeah.
So I think we'll just cover it with balances.
Yeah.
But do you know anything I don't?
I'll just ask. But even actually, I think, no, let's not get into, let's not get into that.
Yeah.
So I was just saying that we did used to put 7 and a bit in there, and obviously you've decided not to, so I'm just wondering, was there any point in having it there? Because, or are you gonna load it up next year?
Well, we'll use it next year.
Yeah.
And are you going to be proposing that as part of the budget for next year?
Yeah, you know how we took it out, I took it out
Yeah,
a few years ago and presented it to the governance and council at the time, because it was a basic case of you should really just budget what you expect, expect out
Yeah,
of it.
get that, yeah.
So we took it out, but in the 7-year financial planning model that we use, every 4 years, in 2025, for example, we'll probably be loading that with about £25,000 worth of expenditure to cover the county council
Okay,
costs.
that's fine,
Yeah.
thank you.
You get even those costs, I mean, originally county would pick up the bulk of the costs for parish elections, but they don't now. They charge a lot.
Well, we get charged. We get charged on the back of what they would have to spend,
Yeah.
and that's why by-elections cost, what, £7 grand or
Pick up
something,
the
is it?
full cost, yeah.
We cut for the lot, so 16 times 7. Yeah. So anyway,
Yes,
thanks.
okay. Any other
I look
issues?
forward to seeing a figure in there from February.
There will be a figure in there.
Taken out of the massive balance we've got.
We'll even beat that, we'll present it in January.
Fantastic, thank you.
Any other codes, Daniel, here?
898,
Yeah, no.
I've never seen county council's MLS projects in this before, is that a new one we included?
That's when county councillors use their money for a scheme. So we get money from the county.
Oh, I know, I've just before.
It's been in there,
Yeah.
yeah, so hasn't it?
I've
Yeah.
used it. I've used it because I've put some of my money into, seating and different things, more. Used it for different things.
So
So,
I don't remember seeing
yeah,
it last year.
but because it comes out of the county council, minus money,
Yeah.
but it comes through the town council for them to just deal with it.
It certainly wasn't in there originally,
Yeah.
so something that has been added.
It's a couple of years.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
504, Submariner's event donation. I was decided not to give anything to this amount. I can't remember how much I've missed that one.
We used to have £50 in there, and same with the churches, and
Yeah, I think it's all just incorporating the figure of both.
I was gonna say, not all in with the 1,500.
With the one, right.
Then why don't we just delete it?
you shouldn't delete codes like that, because you might want to refer back to them, but, you know, you could take it out. Yeah.
Just think of the amount of ink we're wasting printing that chair.
Right. Yeah.
Honestly, what waste. Have had a hard day, all right.
Okay. Anything else on any other codes? Yeah.
402 councillor training.
Sorry, 400
Put 402. Yeah.
That shouldn't work then, did it?
councillor training. Oh, we'll have occasionally have people go on a course for, you know, the fibre or something, when, but there haven't been, I can't remember anybody booking recently.
No. It's been a year or so.
Yeah, I mean, they'll do run some courses with maybe 30 quid or something. And I know I've had chairman's courses where we sent people away, chairmanship courses. But I haven't seen anything recently.
You try to
We
stop
might
me
have
coming
some
here.
civility and what have you.
Who
So,
had the training this year?
so we might be having some training courses still in the past, yeah. Okay, any others? No. Okay. All right, nothing else on there then? We'll move on to item 6, which is the allotment income comparison. I just asked the town clerk to put this on because this year we should be collecting more allotment rents. Next year we'll get less, so do you want to talk through the report?
Yeah, a little while ago, the committee agreed to change the allotment tenancy date from first to the 1st of October. So in this particular year, we'd be collecting a 6-month period plus a 12-month period, and that's how we got the rise from about 40,000 to 62,000. So what I've done is I've compared it to what we've got in the cash book at the moment. It's roughly the same as the budget monitoring sheet, but that was produced at a different time to this, so that's why there's a slight difference. But what a budget of £62,000 there. In a recent Environment Committee, the committee agreed that Blythe Small Holdings at Bowlam Allotments there needn't collect the 18 months from their tenants. They agreed to keep it just the April to the March. The effect of that on the budget was a reduction of nearly 8,000. So that took our target income for the year to just under 55,000.
Yeah.
You can see from the analysis below, we've collected 36,000. The balance due, we've got the Newsham Association, which owes another 12 months rent. The BTC are the plots that we manage. So then, that then would take you to just over the £50,000 worth of income. At the time of writing this, we had a number of empty plots. So again, I've just added that factor in. I can't tell you that the empty plots we had when this was written, we've now got it down to 3 or 4. So we've got very few empty plots now. The 180, that's basically when we take money over a credit card, and that's the bank charges which are deducted. The £1,000 below that, we did estimate that 10% of the allotment holders would take advantage of paying for 18 months rent. It's actually been a lot higher. So the additional take-up is reduced in collecting less income, which is that 1,000. So basically got 55 on the top and 55 on the bottom. And won't be that.
Yeah.
Satisfying.
Yeah. It's a bit of a guess, really, how many allotment holders would take advantage of the discount. You can have a discount if you want it, but we need 18 months rent. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Brian, yes.
Do we have a waiting list for allotments, do we? Or,
Yeah.
I mean, is there a figure we've got of how many people's waiting or?
Oh, I don't know the exact number, Brian, but it's substantial.
Are we talking hundreds or?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. There's a lot of people who want a specific allotment site as well. So if you like Wednesday, you're unlikely to get one. There just aren't any vacancies there. But there's like New Delville have got some empty plots, so they did have, but just depends where you live, I suppose, where you want to be.
Certainly, if you know anybody that's going to apply, if they apply just for an allotment in the town, they've got a much better chance than, you know, if they live in Feb, say, you know, because they might have to wait 10 years for a plot up there.
I'm sorry. I'm trying, where's that? There was one. No, I know where Beckside is, but where's the allotments in Beckside?
Over the ridge.
Over the
Where the railway lane, level crossing is,
Where the houses are.
behind the
right.
garage.
Do you know where the pub
It's
is?
not down there.
Yeah.
I've never been down there, so I
There's 10 allotments there.
I didn't know there was any down there.
Yeah.
Makes sense why I say cars go down there, I get fuel, so yeah. I honestly didn't know there was any down there. Sorry, I couldn't keep up. Apologies.
Yeah. It's one we have issues with because the access road isn't ours, or what the road that people use, however. Right, so any questions on that?
Can I just say, Chair, I honestly haven't been well, and I've dragged myself in here, so I do apologise. But it has been, it's cheered me up no end, coming and seeing you all. Thank you. When I read this first time, it said, it looked to me as though we had 2,300 empty plots. What's going on? That can't be right. So, yes. So thank you for that. You've brightened me evening up.
I thought you were high these days with, never mind.
Now the drugs don't work, John.
Right, so okay then, oh, sorry, Adrian.
Can you just clear something? I don't know who clears the allotments. Do you get is it the council workmen or who clears them? Because we've got a picture of that allotment that was in Wensleydale Ward. It was absolutely basically the grass was this high. And I just wondered, you said it would be cleared in a certain amount of time. I'm just wondering who cleared it.
Well, sometimes it can go down one or two paths. In this particular case, we've got a couple of the neat team in,
Yeah.
just to string it, bag it, and it's looking a lot better now. Certainly, we'll let that straight away. But it was an unfortunate case of, and this is why we're moving to the October rental period, really, to try to avoid it, Adrian. But we had somebody packed in the allotment, but unfortunately, we're still chasing for the money. And when you get the heat and the rain and what have you, like we have done, it doesn't take long for an overgrown allotment, of that height to get to that you saw. But the press have been involved on that one. I've circulated people, and there was a complaint about vermin and flies and things like that, but the report, whoever it's been reported to, it hasn't been reported to the council, this council. And what I've told the press is sometimes there is confusion with people out there. We're trying to get the message across about what we do and what the county do. But I think there was there's been some confusion on that. I think. But as far as the allotment goes, it's trimmed nice and tidy.
It's always amazed me, Chair, that all those years ago when we amalgamated the 7 councils, one of the big plus points for members of the public was that they would know exactly which council they would complain to.
Yeah.
And every bit of board work I get, no matter what it is, comes via the town council with email system. None of it comes via the county
I
council.
think we'll get that.
And it's like, well, so that was a waste of 100 million quid, wasn't it? If that was the sole aim. So everybody knew which council it was.
Yeah. I like it when I phone up here now and you get the long list. of
Yeah.
what we don't do, but we'll pass you on.
Chair?
In fact, I don't know why you're phoning us, because we do allotments.
You know what magazines that were put out?
Yeah.
Does it not have that in the back?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought,
It's,
As long as I've been a council, I've never had one.
what a magazine?
No.
I just got mine recently, mine too. We got two.
Got mine.
It's the same with consultations, people don't get consulted about things either.
Okay, now, move on to items. Vision report, allotments management software, hand over to Elaine, did the report, yeah.
Well, it's been recommended that you agree to purchase allotment management software, which is provided by Rialtus, who are a company that do sector-specific software, allotments, cemeteries, finance, but this is related to the allotments one. And they are in partnership with a company called BBits, who have an inspection app. So it's all run through GPS on Android phones or tablets. And you can get to an allotment, and there's similar to the county council's total mobile system.
You would enter the information, have the ability to take photos of the plot, schedule inspections, rate the standard of the allotment, and then that feeds back. It's integrated with the Realtis allotment software, which is a comprehensive database. They have the ability to upload from our Excel spreadsheets to toss over all the information, so it would have everything that we need to have. You can upload template letters to it for anything really, rent reminders, bird flu, anything that you might come across. For allotments, you could have your standard letters on there, and it does the whole mail merge process for you. You can stick a box to email letters out to all your tenants. You can search for individual tenants. You can do a whole host of things, and it's an opportunity to sort of streamline the management of the allotments to be more effective and efficient. Yeah.
I mean, our financial package was never set up to deal with allotments. Anywhere we are doing names and addresses, and it's not there. Grant, you want to come in?
That's just a question. When this came, I had a look at it online. It goes into some detail about the warnings, things like bird flu and things that I've never thought of in my life about, the allotment holders would need to know. But we have these allotments that aren't managed by us. So would we be able to get some data sharing, so that you can send the stuff out to all allotment holders?
Yeah,
Not,
everybody.
and not just the allotment holders for what those sites we manage.
There is the potential to do that. We specifically asked that question when we had the demo of it. Obviously aware that some of the sites are run by associations, particularly for the financial element, but there is, as long as they share the data of who the individuals are that have the plots, it could be set up so that, I mean, it may be more appropriate if those letters came from the associations, but, with an agreement with them, there's no reason why that wouldn't work.
And the second thing in the share is, if the allotment associations who aren't directly managed by the council don't wish to share the data, should we send them a letter to insist that they should raise it at their next AGM?
Do we have we do have the names and addresses of all the plot holders, don't we?
I'm not sure.
No.
No.
I mean, they keep us up to date on waiting lists, but on that particular thing, we always alert the two associations with any information that we would pass over our announce, and certainly there's notices, and we allow them to contact the plot holders. So that's a system that's in place. How effective it is, I couldn't comment on. But
The reason I read through it and online and had a good look at it was the fact that this county was the main county for foot and mouth. I mean, foot and mouth started here, and some of that when I read at the time, went through a review. And when I was reading the review papers, a lot of that was because they hadn't informed farmers of this, that, and the other. Now, that might happen on our allotments. If they will have some fungus that's eating whatever, cabbages or something. We should be able to tell everybody that's there.
Yeah. Do you know if it handles emails or not?
It can handle emails, yeah. So you've got the ability to send out a bulk email to all of the people that are on it. You can also omit certain people if you want to. You've got total control of that.
And I mean, the phone app side is really good. When you go and inspect the allotment, you type it in straight away. It's uploaded, done. Yeah. You don't have to come back and type it up. Yeah, Jeff, I'll come back down.
Yeah, Grant raises a very interesting point of the allotment holders associations we deal with, rather than the allotment holders themselves. You're going to have to get permission to use their information if you're going to email them all. I mean, these days, I for one, before I pass on any email, any inquiry, I email the person back and say, is it all right if I use your details in the next stage of the process? Because you can get, there's unlimited fines and God knows what, and it's just you think, well, this is stupid.
Yeah.
But if somebody on one of those allotment associations does not want the council to know that they're on that allotment and they're protected from that by the association, who knows, obviously.
Yeah.
But if they don't want the association to pass that information on to us, and they do, and we use it, so just be very, very careful. That's a very, very good point, Brandon. Very good.
You should ask them the reason they.
Yeah. And we would actually need somebody to sign something before we start sending emails to people. I mean, the ones that we run and we've got the information for, absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But if there's a third party beyond that, Grant is absolutely right. We could get ourselves in all sorts of trouble, which is ridiculous, I know, but it's how it is.
Do you want to go in first? or-
Yeah, if I could, Jeff, for Grant as well. The way the allotment process works is that if somebody wants an allotment, they apply to the town council.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which allotment site it's on, so it's either a Blythe managed site, or it's an association site.
Yeah.
So if it's a Blythe managed site, Bev say, Beatrice or whatever, we just deal with it internally. But if it's for an association, we'll pass it on to the association. So at that point in time, the potential plot holder is giving us the information through GDPR to have their email address and a contact. But what doesn't happen is that we don't know if we know they might get an allotment, but we don't know if they've still got it.
Yeah.
That's a big issue. But if there was bird flu or what have you, we would send an electronic copy of the notice outlining the fact, be careful of this, be careful of that. We'd also laminate a notice for them.
Yeah.
And then would let them deal with their plot holders after that.
Yeah, it's just, we just need to be aware. It is ridiculous. But,
Yeah.
you get in all sorts of trouble over this, and that's having to email people back and say, before I can do anything about your problem, you've got to tell me that you don't mind if I put your name and address in an email to an officer. I mean, it's nuts. So just, as I say, I think it needs.
I've done this. Martin, do you want to come in?
Yes, I always think that with those sort of arguments as well, you've got, it actually shows that the town councils use due diligence, to be fair, isn't it? In trying to contact people. It's always a great argument for the duty of care that we've got for residents and those people. So, that there's a big argument that it's a good thing to have that sort of thing, to be able to contact people. So I think it's a good idea, to be honest with you. I've seen that sort of software before. It's really good, and it actually it saves officers a lot of time.
Yeah.
It really does, especially our front facing lot. Deal with people all the time. It's kind of wraps it all up and does it for you, which is good.
Right. Yeah. Warren?
Yeah, I mean, it seems a very good management system, and I'm guessing it's not a brand new system. It's probably been around for a while. Do we know if it's widely used across the county and in other councils? Have we had any feedback from places who are using it?
I'm not aware of any councils in Northumberland who use Realtis allotment software, but then not all councils in Northumberland have allotments.
No.
I know from 2 previous town councils I've worked with that their allotments are all association ran. They don't actually individually manage them because there's very few, maybe Ashington, there's very few, maybe Seaton Valley, there's very few councils that have the resources to individually manage their allotments. But with Realtis, there's a lot of councils that put their software packages.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian?
I was just we asked one of my questions, but I'm gonna ask is this the only software we've looked at, or we looked at other softwares that could do the same job and see what they were priced at? I'm not, I think it's a good idea, but I would just want to see if we looked at a comparison of and generally, my experience, we've had a look at, we've looked at 3 different comparisons, see which one was a benefit and the best benefit for it, and also with cost, that's all.
Yeah, the only other allotment software management system I'm aware of is Advantage allotments. But I haven't had a comprehensive costing back from them.
Have you approached them?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah, Daniel?
Is there any digital software that needs to be installed on our systems for it to be in use?
Not that I'm aware of.
Operating system.
It's sorry, it's the app to software integration, I think, that they need to do. I think that might be a separate thing they need to
I was
install.
gonna say that's because the company's based in Swindon and they look like a family run business almost when I check them out.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, would they able to send a techie up here to install it or if it's done remotely?
I've used Realtus before for the financial software.
Yeah.
And they've had consultants come out and they do the training, they come out and do that and they travel up and it's all included in the costings.
As long as they're willing, you know, to train everybody and install it, and I assume they would have, wouldn't actually have a remote access to it based on the company itself, from what I've seen.
They don't have remote access to it. No, hang on, no, they can remote access to your computer through things like Splashtop and I'm trying to think of, because they've done it with financial software.
Right, okay.
Or
Yeah.
they've remotely accessed, and I'm trying to think of what the login thing is for it. But they've also got a good support system where you can log tickets for support, and they've got quite comprehensive manuals as well available on their website, that detail the various processes for the different software packages.
Yeah.
But you log a ticket, and it's very rare you don't get a call back within
Yeah.
24 hours.
I was gonna say, as long as
That's me speaking from the financial software, which a lot more organisations
but
use.
it's just not true,
Yeah.
because they really do help in terms, and is it 24/7 support?
I'm not aware it's 24/7, but then I've never contacted them during office hours.
I mean, there won't be many companies offering allotment software for parish councils, are there? I mean, it's bespoke really.
I'm only aware of the two.
So are we happy to go along with this?
Yeah.
Software, just fit that in. I don't know whether you need to aim for the start of the year or whatever, just want to take our advice really. Yeah. So we'll go ahead with that one, thank you. There's no delegated actions. I have got one other business. Can I bring Martin in?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, John, I would like to, just bring up the idea of, see our officers, within their terms and conditions of employment, got a salary, got our pension schemes, and I was just wondering if it would be possible, because obviously, I'm quite fond of the local government pension scheme, which I know that we don't have here within the town council for our officers. I think it's Nest that, yeah. And I was just wondering if it was possible, could we look at the pros and cons of maybe going over to the local government pension scheme, because it's actually a much better package, much better benefits. I'm just wondering what the cost views would be on that sort of thing.
We did look at it quite a few years ago. There are some risks involved, but we can do research into it. Yeah. It's not always easy to get advice because the county council won't give, they're not allowed to give you advice on pension schemes.
It's
But you go elsewhere, don't you?
Yeah, we've got, it was something that was on the agenda for the first meeting with John, and I hadn't roughly spoken about it. What we'd have to do is we'd have to get some actuary values. So the percentage and the liability to the pension fund is based on the liability of the staff that you want in it. So obviously, a young, fit organisation carries a lower pension liability than an aging so what we've got to do is we'd have to submit all that data to the actuary, and on reading I think we would aim to try to get a report to the next governance committee in October.
That'd be fantastic.
Outlining all the
Pros and cons.
the pros and cons.
Cost benefit.
I always remember that there were some risks involved because I think once the council joins the local government pension scheme, you can't come out again. So you are stuck with it. When actually they revalue it every 3 years, I think, or used to. if actuary says you've got to put money into the scheme, you've got to put money into the scheme, wherever they say it, but that's the sort of things you need to look into, yeah. We'll do that for the next governance, hopefully. Okay. All right, date and time of next meeting is Tuesday, 1st of October. There's no part two items.
And I thought it was October out there already, Chair.
Thank you very much for coming.